Support for WPR comes from Rutabaga Paddle Sports, offering kayaks, canoes, and outdoor equipment for anyone wanting to experience the natural beauty of Wisconsin water. 2620 Rimrock Road in Madison or rutabagashop.com.
So hurry up and get your tea time. On the curse, you know it's me time.
That song is Chase the Fairway, and a Norwegian singer singing it. And it's a good way to start the show because we'll be talking about golf in the first segment of the show today. Larry Mueller here. And we're having some fun because the U.S. Women's Open is coming to Erin Hills right here in Wisconsin. So we'll be talking about that during the show. But right now, a couple of words about the Wisconsin Public Radio Spring Member Drive. Your gift, any amount, makes a big difference. And here to help me today is Jennifer Dargan, who is Deputy Director of the Educational Communications Board, or we just ECB around here, isn't it, Jennifer?
Just ECB is fine. We're casual like that.
Casual like that. And thinking about listener support, we say this a lot. It's the biggest source of our funding.
It is the biggest source of funding. And some people still, need a little reminder of that. And that's what we're here for. It really means that your support funds this program, as well as everything else you hear on WPR and everything that you count on. So for that reason, I hope we've convinced you by now it's the last day of the drive to make a donation at WPR.org or 888-202-2552.
The drives are important. We want to make sure the funding is in place for the news and information you rely on from WPR, and your gift funds this program for sure, as well as all the other WPR shows you value. So please give now at WPR.org or phone 888-202-2552.
And public radio means something special. It's not like every other channel on the radio. Public radio means listener-supported radio.
And while we do appreciate all of our funding streams, listener support is still the largest and the most reliable source of funding for WPR. Your contribution, any amount, really matters at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552.
WPR is probably really important to you. Maybe you're one of those can't miss the 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock every weekday. Lots of people are in that boat. If it's personally important to you, it's also important to you that everyone in the state has access to this high-quality conversation, information that you get every day when you tune in.
Yeah, so what about you? Become a member with a contribution, let's say $10 a month or $120. And you're not only doing something good for yourself, you're doing something good for the whole community. We're listener-supported, and that's why your participation is so important. So please give now at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552.
I've just learned a lot by listening to public radio. I feel like I can use it. It's something I can use in my life and learn more or do something different or think differently. It kind of runs in my family. My mom listens to public radio. My dad listens to public radio. My brother listens to public radio, although I think he's unlucky because he lives in New York, and we have the best public radio here. I've traveled around the country, and this is the best. I'm Katie Simonson from Burlington. Wisconsin Public Radio is my source for news and information.
Katie, thank you very much. You, too, can give. Give at WPR.org or phone 888-202-2552 to make your contribution. Larry Mueller here with Jennifer Dargan. Listener support's the biggest source of our funding, and that's why your gift, $10 a month, $100 a month, whatever amount you choose, has an important impact.
It is important, but it's also easy. How many things in life are important but also easy? That's kind of nice. It just takes a few minutes of your time. You can take care of this really important thing. A gift of any amount, maybe $10 a month.
And that donation will come back to you every day in the form of great programs. Show your support at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552 and give as generously as you can.
And if you're wondering how much should I give, well, that is completely up to you. Your contribution of any amount is going to be turned into all this great programming you hear when you turn on WPR. It's going to keep you informed and entertained all year long.
So make your gift right now in the amount that's right for you at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552. And, by the way, thanks. I want to say thank you for making an investment that serves the whole community.
I don't think we can say thank you enough. Thank you so, so much. If you want a little bit more, in addition to the great programming you hear on WPR, and you want to show off your pride in Wisconsin Public Radio, you can ask for the latest WPR t-shirt. Larry is not wearing it right now. I would love to be able to point at you. Where's your t-shirt, Larry? Did you order one?
I donated the first day of the drive.
And you're getting a t-shirt. It's
so
not here
I'm
yet.
getting one, and it isn't here yet.
To be
but
fair, I'm
it's
not
pretty
wearing
cool.
mine either, but they're soft and they're comfy, and they have all of the symbols of Wisconsin on it, including WPR, which is a great symbol of Wisconsin. You can get yours too when you give $20 a month or more at WPR.org or 888-202-2552.
And you could become a sustaining member. Easy to set up. They're convenient, ongoing monthly donations from your bank account or maybe your credit card. You can get started at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552.
We heard from Pat in Sturgeon Bay, who said, I count on WPR for interesting programming, especially love Larry Mueller. We all do, but thank you so much, Pat. Thank you for your donation. If you want to join in and have your voice counted, you can do that now.
Yeah, very important. Really makes a difference at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552. And thank you very, very much. Well, let's turn our attention to spring and golf. Spring's a great time to get out and golf. And today we're going to talk about where to golf in the state this spring, and you'll hear about some exciting events coming up in the golf world. And really good to have Rob Jansen back with us. He's the executive director of the Wisconsin State Golf Association. Rob will give you a list of his favorite courses to play in the spring, and we'll cover the big national championships coming to our state as well. And as I talk with Rob, I hope you'll join in. Tell us the public courses you like to visit every year. What makes them great places to play? Give us a call. The number's 800-642-1234, 1-800-642-1234, or send an email to talk@wpr.org. Rob Jansen, welcome back. Good to have you with us.
Thanks, Larry. Great to be back. Appreciate you having me on.
I love golfing at this time of the year. What about you?
Yeah, especially with this great weather we seem to be getting started with here. I'm out at North Shore Country Club today. We've got our U.S. Open local qualifier today, so great to have some nice weather for the talented players out here competing for those coveted spots to advance to the next round of U.S. Open qualifying.
Yeah, and there's a lot of final qualifying going on right now, as a matter of fact, I believe. And I think some Wisconsin women have already qualified.
Yeah, so the final qualifiers for the Women's Open are happening as we speak right now. On the men's side, it's a two-stage process, just given the number of entries that were received. So they start with the local qualifier that we're running here today and advance on to final qualifying, and that gets them into the U.S. Open. So it's a beautiful event. Anyone with a great golf game and a dream can enter and play their way into our national championship.
I was thinking about, well, now we've got the U.S. Women's Open, which is going to be at Erin Hills near Oconomowoc. Let's talk about the course first. I would hate to play that course from the tips, as far back as you could play.
I wouldn't recommend that for anybody. Yeah, you're out there playing, and you can look back, and there's probably, no matter where you're playing, tee box wise, you can probably look back, and there's 3 more tee boxes behind you that I would not recommend. Yeah,
and it's a special course in so many ways. I mean, it's hosting some national events, has held, and will be holding in the future.
Yeah, just a really special place. Had a great media event yesterday for the local media to come out and get a preview of the course and hear from some of the folks at the USGA and talk about the rich history that Erin Hills already has, and it's a pretty young course, relatively speaking. So the fact that it's hosted a men's open and now is hosting a women's open, just hosting those two events puts Erin Hills on a pretty short list of some of the best courses in the country who can make that claim. So, course is in great shape. It's going to be a great test and a special event for for the ladies that qualify and compete.
Yeah. And as I was saying, I think there are already some folks, some women from Wisconsin who have qualified. I think Bobby Stricker and Izzy Stricker from Madison have already qualified, if I'm not mistaken.
They attempted to qualify.
Oh, they didn't make it.
It's really tough to get through. They were in a really competitive qualifying site, and only a handful of spots up for grabs at each of these events. And I mean, you have some pros from around the country signing up for these. You have great high school, college players, and that's the best players in the world that want to play in this event. It's the largest purse in women's golf, so it's going to draw the best field and very, very tough to make it through. But still a lot of Wisconsin players playing in some of the qualifiers coming up. So I'm hoping we can advance a couple through and have them playing.
Yeah,
playing in the championship.
Yeah, it'd be great. I think there were at least 26 women from Wisconsin trying to get in. And I mean, in order to go to one of these, to qualify to get in, to try to get in, let's put it that way, you need a handicap like a 2 or something, an index of 2.4, which is better than iGolf.
Yeah, me too. I would not be eligible to try myself, but we're working on it. We're working on it.
Oh man. Well, the U.S. Open. Somebody asked me, how big a deal is this? And I said, well, it's a pretty big deal. I mean, in your mind, how big a deal is it?
Oh, it's the biggest deal. I mean, these are the biggest championships in the world. This is the 80th U.S. Women's Open. So, the USGA has been deeply invested in women's golf for a long time, before a lot of other sports were, providing these opportunities. So, there's some big stars in the women's game right now that are going to be at Erin Hills. It's going to be a great viewing experience for golfers, for families, for kids. Kids get in free with a paid adult, so it can be a really affordable activity for families. Parking's free and on site. You're not going to have to deal with shuttles and long walks, long drives, and logistical challenges. I think it's going to be a really nice experience. Fingers crossed for great weather like we have right now in a couple weeks when the championship rolls around. It doesn't get any bigger than this in women's golf. The stars will be there, and I hope golf fans and everyone else comes out to check it out.
Yeah, it's May 29th through June 1st. The Open at Erin Hills. So, who are you excited to see at the Open? I'm kind of looking forward to seeing Nelly Korda in person. It'd be fun to see her and Lydia Ko, maybe.
Yeah. Yep. No, I think Nellie's probably going to bring a lot of fans out, and have never had the chance to see her play in person. So she's certainly at the top of the list, and just really hope we can get some Wisconsin players in the field. To root for there as well. But we'll be a great field regardless.
Yeah, Rob Jansen, our guest, executive director of the Wisconsin State Golf Association, talking golf with him this morning. To begin our show during our listener-supported Wisconsin Public Radio member drive, Jennifer Dargan's going to step back in with me for a minute. This is the last day of our spring member drive, and your chance to put a vote in for this program and a lot of the other programs. Listener donations are the largest source of our funding, and if you've been meaning to give, now's the time, because the drive ends at 6 today. Just go to WPR.org or phone 888-202-2552.
And your gift during our member drive is so important because it directly supports your daily listening. You know, Larry, you and your guests help with so many aspects of our lives. Of course, our gardens, our homes, our bodies. I'm thinking about the physical therapists, our minds, the book clubs, and all the other authors that you interview. All of these conversations you come here for every day. They're available thanks to you. So choose an amount and then make your gift. You can do it at WPR.org or 888-202-2552.
You know, about once a month, we take a show to take time in the month to talk about some aspect of sports. And it kind of depends on the season and what's going on. And with the Women's U.S. Open, we thought, what a perfect time to have Rob Jansen on to talk about the Open and just talk about golf, because it's a great time of the year to play golf. Well, we're listener-supported, and that means when you give at WPR.org or you phone 888-202-2552, you make this hour and many more hours possible. So I hope you'll choose an amount that works for you, take a couple of minutes, and make your gift.
Well, the last count I saw was there were 26,000 WPR members that are sustainers. That's really amazing. There are probably more now since this drive's been going on.
Yeah.
But that means sustainers are folks who make an ongoing monthly gift to Wisconsin Public Radio.
And what we like about it, and what you might like about it too, is it's a reliable stream of funding for the programs you care about. And as we've been saying, it's easy to become a sustainer, and why not do it right now? Choose an amount, let's say $10 or $20 a month, and set it up to be ongoing. It's easy at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552.
Around town, at work, out jogging, at the lake. Let people know you're a WPR fan when you wear your new WPR 2025 t-shirt. This comfortable and attractive cotton poly blend shirt has a lavender and orange design on a cream-colored background. It'll be a conversation starter as you work and play here in Wisconsin or anywhere you travel.
I like your shirt. Thank you.
Ask for your t-shirt now when you give $20 a month or more. Here's how.
Just go to WPR.org or phone 888-202-2552 to make your donation. Larry Mealer here with Jennifer Dargan, and your support during our drive makes the news, the conversations, the music that you enjoy on WPR possible. Your gift might be $10, $20 a month. Whatever amount you choose is the right amount.
And maybe you're saying to yourself, I'll do this tomorrow. I'll support WPR tomorrow.
No, wait.
Well, today is your last chance to support WPR during this member drive.
Don't delay. Join this great community of people coming together right now to make great radio. Give at WPR.org or phone 888-202-2552.
And while you're on the phone or at our website, pick up one of those T-shirts. It is really well designed. Grace Lorenz on our staff here designs them. And it's kind of hard to describe, but you can see it on our website. It's a purple and orange Wisconsin-themed design. It's got all the state symbols on it and, of course, WPR. And at the back of it has the stations on it in case you're traveling around the state and you're like, where do I tune in? Where do I? You can, it's just
Take
like a
your
concert
shirt off
shirt.
and turn it
Yeah,
around. And
maybe flip it around and like,
I
oh,
know.
okay, 88.3, got it.
Oh,
Anyway,
man.
you can pick that up at WPR.org or 888-202-2552.
And if you're a sustaining member, thanks so much for that. Maybe this is the day you increase your support of WPR, maybe $5 or $10 a month, whatever amount you choose at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552.
We heard from Ted in Milwaukee who made a donation and said public media is a valuable asset to our community. It's just that simple.
Yeah, it is indeed. What about you now? Join with your gift right now. Powerful really makes a difference at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552. And thank you very much. Great to have you along today on WPR News. Larry Mealer here. We're talking golf right now with Rob Jansen. Rob's the executive director of the Wisconsin State Golf Association. We're taking a look at golfing in springtime in Wisconsin. We're talking about the U.S. Women's Open. That's going to be at Erin Hills right here in our state. And certainly looking forward to your own thoughts or questions. You got a favorite course you want to talk about, or maybe a question about a course? Maybe about the rules. Give us a call. The number's 800-642-1234, 1-800-642-1234, or you could email us to talk@wpr.org. You know, Rob, maybe you should talk a bit before we get back to talking about the specific courses and the Open and so forth. What's the, tell us about the Wisconsin State Golf Association. What's its purpose and what do you provide for the people in our state?
Yeah, we're a nonprofit organization. We're member funded as well. If people didn't kind of join and support us, we wouldn't be around. So we have individual golfers who join to receive some individual benefits, get their official golf handicap and golf publications and Golf Digest magazine and the ability to play in events we run, et cetera. We also provide services directly to courses. We measure and rate their course and help them with questions on, rules and other things related to their golf course. And just generally are here to promote the game and encourage people to play it and promote the courses that we have in Wisconsin. And there's so many great ones that we're lucky to have here in the state. So, it's great. Every day is a little different, but we appreciate all the support we get. Hopefully some golfers listening that are supporting us will also be supporting you guys and public radio here today as well. In addition to golf, I love a good T-shirt, so I think I'm going to have to donate myself to get my hands on this T-shirt I'm hearing about.
It's really cool. I've got mine on the way, so maybe the next time when I run into you, I'll have to let you know when I'm coming your way, and I'll put on that T-shirt. Maybe you can put yours on too. Hey, John emailed us. How was Erin Hills selected to host the Open?
The USGA looks for the best courses in the country that are going to provide the best test for golfers, men and women, depending on the given championship. And, they've really made a commitment to the women's game to take the Women's Open to the best golf courses in the country. And Erin Hills is on that very short list of the best golf courses in the country. It also happens to be public, which is great because, people can go out and get a tee time and pay to play it themselves. Some of the other great courses these Open Championships go to are, private and don't have that same access. So that's a unique thing here in Wisconsin. And I think the USGA knows that Wisconsin's a supportive golf community. The fans are going to come out. The volunteers are going to come out. And it's going to make for a great championship venue for them and certainly a stern test of golf for the ladies. So there's a lot of factors, but at the end of the day, it's one of the best golf courses in the country, and that's why they picked Erin Hills.
Yeah. And you think about it, what do we have, 540 or so golf courses in the state? I think 90% of them are public.
Yeah, it's a very, very high percentage. So, I think that's important for making the game accessible. And a lot of those courses are also very affordable and a great value. So no matter your budget and skill level, there's going to be a course close by to introduce you to the game, give you a chance to come out and play and practice and work on your game, maybe get some instruction, maybe a junior program for kids. But yeah, we're blessed with one of the best golf states in the country, without a doubt.
And I'm just trying to remember how many of our courses are ranked in the top 100 courses in the country, which there are thousands, of course. But I think we have at least 10, don't we?
I happen to know that stat by heart. We do have 10 of the top 100 on the Golf Digest list of top 100 public courses in the country. They came out with an article last year as well, proclaiming Wisconsin the number one state for for public golf, mainly focused on those, really nice destination courses that golfers are coming in from all over the country, all 50 states, from all over the world to travel around the state and play these bucket list courses like Erin Hills and Whistling Straits, Black Wolf Run, all the great things happening at Sand Valley and the great golf courses that they have there, in addition to Lasonia and the Bull and Century World. I mean, it's just the list goes on, as they say. But yeah, very, very lucky with what we have in our backyard here.
And I played a good many of those courses, as a matter of fact. And the thing I do like about playing them is that there are a lot of tees, like Black Wolf Run and Whistling Straits. The tee that I'm playing on, I can look back a long ways before I I see the furthest back tee. So any golfer who is, can play those courses because of the way golf is sort of set up.
Yeah, that's been one of the best trends, I think, happening in the game is just encouraging people to move up and find the appropriate set of tees for their skill level, really getting away from, hey, this is a men's tee, this is a women's tee, this is a junior tee. They're all just tee boxes at different yardages, and the key is just matching up the appropriate yardage and tee box to your skill level. That's really going to make it for an enjoyable round. And I think as that message has caught on and people have generally moved up tee boxes instead of moving back, it's really made the game more enjoyable. It makes for quicker rounds and really just a better experience for everybody.
I've been playing a long, long time, and I started near the back, but I have been slowly and on occasion quickly moving my way forward to the closer, to the easier, I guess you could say it. It would be easy for a great golfer to play maybe those forward tees, but it just makes it more fun. Why would you want to? And I'll sometimes see, especially young men who might have teed off in front of me, I'll sometimes see them from the back tees and waiting, and then hitting. Probably they should have been moving forward. You get a little of that, or you see a little of that?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's getting better, but yeah, there's always going to be a group of golfers who they want to play the tips. They want to play the farthest back set of tees they can, even though it doesn't match up with their skill level, when in reality they would have a much better time, a much better experience. They're going to play better. They're going to score better by finding, the tees that are the best fit for them. It's probably not going to be the furthest back tees, unless you're playing golf for a living. You probably shouldn't be playing those back tee boxes too often.
It's just so much more fun. I get so much more enjoyment out of it when I'm playing at an appropriate level, at appropriate tee box. Well, how's the course? Jane wonders, how's the course prepared for a competition like this? What goes on at Erin Hills to make this course worthy of a U.S. Open?
Yeah, they have one of the best turf staffs in the state and the country out there at Erin Hills. A lot of their team has been there from the very beginning. Their head superintendent, Zach Reineking, has been there since day one of the golf course, so he literally knows the place better than anyone. So he knows everything they need to do to get the course in perfect shape. And one very unique and special thing that Erin Hills is doing, they're not opening up the golf course prior to the Women's Open. Usually they'd be opening around now, kind of early to mid-May for public play and people to start booking tee times, but they're keeping the course completely shut down prior to the ladies getting here for the U.S. Open. So the fairways aren't going to have a single divot in them. Tee boxes are going to be pristine. The greens are going to be perfect. So that makes it really easy to get the course in phenomenal shape. Most courses are allowing public play leading up to the championship. Most private courses will allow their members to play until, a few days or maybe the week before the championship at minimum. So a really big time commitment from Erin Hills to keep the course kind of shut down just to ensure that it's as good as it possibly can be for the best ladies in the world to come check it out.
Lynn wonders, would it be a good idea to take your kids?
100%. Yeah. I have a 7-year-old and a 10-year-old at home. I'll be taking them both out. Kids get in for free. Parking is on site, so I think it makes for a good family experience. There's a lot of kind of fun fan experience type interactive things for kids to do as well, in addition to just going out on the golf course and watching some of these players up close. If you do have really little ones, I'd recommend, finding some, holes close to the clubhouse, maybe cut down on the walking a little bit. There's plenty of great viewing areas, really close to, the clubhouse that aren't going to require a lot of walking. I'd recommend hanging out at the first tee or the 10th tee, watching players tee off. Then you can head right over to 9 green or 18 green, both fun holes to, watch players play, and grandstands available to sit down, and so I'd absolutely recommend bringing young kids out, families out. Hopefully it inspires some young girls to take up the game after seeing the best professionals in the world.
It's really interesting to me because, and I've been to a number of events like this, and the fact that you might be 50 feet away from the best players in the world, or less even.
Yeah, now Erin Hills, if people haven't been out there, it's a massive property with a lot of space, which provides a lot of great opportunities and access to the entire golf course for those that do want to walk out a little bit more and find a hole that maybe isn't going to have as big of a crowd, where you can get closer to the players. But and generally the ladies are really appreciative of the fans coming out to support them. The grounds are also going to be open on Wednesday for a practice day, so anybody who maybe wants to try to get autographs for their kids, that's probably going to be the best day to do it. The players are still out there preparing and getting ready for their championship to start the next day for the first round. But before and after their rounds, they're going to be, very willing to sign autographs, take pictures. A lot of neat opportunities for anybody who comes out on Wednesday prior to the tournament round starting on Thursday.
Maybe get your cap autographed or something like that.
Yeah, they'll sell, the commemorative flags. That's always a popular item to grab to get autographed. And it's always fun to see, big smiles on young kids with a flag just full of autographs where you could barely squeeze one more on because there's not going to be a player in the field who's going to want to walk by that kid and not sign their flag.
I could get my WPR T-shirt autographed.
Yeah, we could both get our T-shirts autographed, maybe.
Oh, man. Rob Jansen, our guest today, Executive Director of the Wisconsin State Golf Association. Fun talking golf with him. We've had some emails. You can email us at talk@wpr.org. If you want to phone in, the number's 800-642-1234. Love to hear from you on this, the last day of our Wisconsin Public Radio Spring Member Drive, and Jennifer Dargan came rushing back in to help me out. Your support, so important. It powers the programs that keep you in the know and entertained. And that's how it works.
That's how it works. And if you've been listening to this show for maybe a couple of years, you probably know how it works. The people who use it are the largest source of funding for it. So if you have been meaning to give, if you've been knowing this and saying, I'm going to get around to it, this is really the time. Procrastinators unite. Do it now. Last day of our drive at WPR.org or 888-202-2552.
We are listener-powered here at WPR. That means your support makes the news, the analysis, the conversations, and the weekend fun available not only for yourself, but for everyone, the entire community. So thank you for making WPR's public service mission possible with your gift. Do it right now at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552.
And Larry, you and your producers, you just are making life better for listeners every day. I really think that's part of the mission of the show. There's really advice you can use, really practical advice. There's topics that affect, everyone in the community. You hear about Wisconsin wildlife, some wild stories about wildlife, right? Things going on at the university and the state, consumer protection. And then today we're talking about sports.
Yeah, today we're talking a little about golf. A little later on, we'll be talking about the Brewers. And you make the show possible when you join in the conversation and with your financial support. Your gift at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552 keeps interesting conversations available to all.
You're moving about your day, you might be spending more on things that you really even think about, and that adds up. Coffee, maybe you get lunch out. It's easy to spend money on things that are important in your life.
Sure, and Wisconsin Public Radio, I think, is part of your routine as well. It's your source for great conversations, for example. And I'm hoping you'll spend some money on it today. Start with $1 a day. That's $30 a month at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552.
I'm Margot Potacek, and I'm from Madison, Wisconsin.
And I'm Betty Potasic from Madison. If we want to keep Wisconsin Public Radio, we have to support it.
There have been times when I haven't been able to give, even between the time I was a student and now. Even if you're able to give a little bit, I think that makes a big difference. And the sustaining membership, where automatically every month it comes out of your checking account, you don't notice it so much that way. And it's super easy, and I think it makes a difference.
Feel good and make a difference right now at WPR.org.
That's right. Go to WPR.org or phone 888-202-2552 to make your donation during our drive. Larry Mealer with Jennifer Dargan. Join in with your gift right now because WPR's essential service is available to you and your community thanks to your support.
If you've never given to Wisconsin Public Radio before, we are especially talking to you this drive. We have other ways of getting in touch with our existing members, and we really appreciate them. But the best way that we have to contact you who have not given yet, is through these drives.
Yeah, and if you've been listening for weeks or months or years and haven't donated before, hey, today's the day that you could become a WPR member. You'll feel great when you support the station you rely on. And WPR programs will benefit from your contribution. You can give now at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552.
And while you're at it, pick up the latest WPR t-shirt and put that in your closet so you can pull it out and wear it with pride. It's soft and it's stylish, and it'll let everyone know that you are a WPR listener and donor. So ask for yours when you give $20 a month or more at WPR.org or 888-202-2552.
And you can become a sustaining member. It's easy to set up. They're convenient. They're ongoing monthly donations from your bank account or your credit card. Get started at WPR.org or 888-202-2552.
Marcia from Franklin made a donation and said, I enjoy WPR and appreciate all that WPR does for Wisconsin. Thank you, Marcia.
Yeah, thank you very much. What about you? Join with your gift right now. Powerful really makes a difference at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552. And thank you. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to take a look at the Milwaukee Brewers and how the team's doing. Right now, though, we're talking golf with Rob Jansen. Rob's executive director of the Wisconsin State Golf Association. And I hope you'll join in with your questions or comments. Give a call at 800-642-1234 or email to talk@WPR.org. And let's take a call. Rich in La Crescent, Minnesota. Thanks for calling. What's on your mind?
Yes, anybody who golfs will probably agree that the worst thing about golf is slow pace of play. What is the USGA doing to address that?
Yeah, pace of play is sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not so great, Rob.
Yeah, it's still a challenge facing the game. I think one of the big things that we just talked about was getting golfers to move up. That generally is going to encourage faster pace of play. There's also a lot of things, course setup wise that courses can do to encourage faster play and not setting up the course too difficultly for daily play to keep things moving as best as possible. In competitive events like we have going on today, we have rules officials and pace of play volunteers throughout the course to monitor pace and, players can get penalized for slow play in competition. But, for daily play at public courses, it can be a challenge if they don't have the staff to really be on the course and look for gaps. It ultimately is on the player's shoulders to stay up with the group in front of them and play faster and something the game continues to try to do a good job of getting people to keep moving. But playing the right tee box is definitely one of the keys to improving pace of play, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think in the spring of the year is actually, to me, it's been pretty good pace of play the half dozen times or so that I've played already this spring. Maybe because the people out early are the people who golf a lot, and so they tend to move along. And you should be. I mean, what's your ideal in terms of 18 holes of golf, Rob? What's the standard for a good pace?
I think the standard, I think the 4-hour mark is, an attainable, achievable mark for any golf course and any player. I like to play even faster than that. My ideal pace, I love to walk. I prefer to walk whenever I can. I love to play in, closer to 3.5, maybe even 3:15. And I don't feel rushed. I'm not, walking faster than I normally would. It's just, being mindful of, when it's your turn to play and preparing for your shot and, just getting on the ball and hitting it. Thinking about it usually doesn't lead to a better shot. So I'm not sure why so many not so good golfers spend so much time thinking about the shot they're about to hit when taking less time is actually going to help most people's game. So, I love a good fast round. 3:30 I think is the sweet spot.
Yeah, well, you're probably not spending a lot of time on the green then either. I've decided that I'm not going to be. I usually just get up. I'm walking to the green. I'm looking at the green, look where the hole is, look where the ridges are or whatever, and I can get up there and not take very long to make my putt.
Yeah. I mean, the greens are definitely an area where people tend to slow down. Unfortunately, they pick up bad habits from some of their favorite golfers on TV sometimes, yes. and they think that doing what they do might help their game when, it's really not that complicated. Take a look at the putt and get up there and hit it and hope it goes in.
Lyle shot us an email. Is Erin Hills taking a financial loss not opening the course until the Open?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, it's not, it's not a smart move financially. I think it just shows their commitment to this event, to the state, to put on a good championship. The Women's Open is going to bring in a $20 to $30 million economic impact to, Washington County and, the surrounding areas and the state in general, which is great. And, yeah, they're losing tee time revenue every day. They're not open, but really special statement by their owner Andy Ziegler to do that for this event for the USGA, just to ensure the event is as good as it possibly can be and looks great on TV and provides great exposure for Wisconsin.
Yeah, and NBC and Peacock are covering the golf. And tickets in advance, is it better to do it that way?
Yeah, everything's digital now. Yeah, you can buy them online and get them on your phone and scan them on your way in. Tickets are still available for all days for those who've been on the fence or might be watching the weather and figuring out their summer plans with family. But yeah, definitely hope they keep the event in mind and come out and support the event so we can keep big events like this coming back to Wisconsin.
Rob, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for taking time to be with us. Rob Jansen, Executive Director of the Wisconsin State Golf Association. We're getting closer to the top of the hour, and, I'll tell you what, this is the last day of our Wisconsin Public Radio Drive, which is making Jennifer Dargan and I itchy to talk with you about it. We need your support. Listener support's our largest source of funding, and that's why your gift right now at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552 is so important.
And Larry, don't you wish we could just go to every single donor to WPR and say thank you, thank you, but we can't do that.
No.
So we'll just kind of do a big group thank you right now. Thank you so much. If you have already given, that really means the world to us. If not, there is still time to get in. It is just a few hours left of our spring member drive and just a few hours left during this drive to fund the independent journalism, the great conversations you hear every day on Wisconsin Public Radio. The great thing about this is there's no set amount that makes you a member. You choose the amount. Do it and then make your gift at WPR.org or 888-202-2552.
And here we learned today about one of the really cool events that's coming to Wisconsin. And even if you're not a golfer, believe me, you'd have fun at Erin Hills, May 29th through June 1st, or pick one of those days and go. You would enjoy the spectacle. I think you'd enjoy the players. It's fun once in a while to talk about an event like this, and not everybody does that. Here we do it once in a while at WPR, and we're listener supported, and that means when you give at WPR.org or you phone 888-202-2552, you make this hour. And many more hours possible. So choose an amount that works for you. Take a couple of minutes and make your gift.
And you can make your donation even easier when you become a sustainer. You can pick an amount for a monthly gift, maybe $10 a month or $20 a month, and you can have it charged from your bank account or your credit card.
And when you're a sustainer, your monthly gift continues year after year, so your support's always current. And you can start your ongoing monthly gifts right now at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552. Powerful way to support the programs you love on WPR.
I wake up to Wisconsin Public Radio. The alarm goes off. It's better than a snooze alarm for me because I get to hear a lot of interesting things, especially in the car. If it's not public radio, I'll turn on some golden oldies for a while, but then you heard the same song 75,000 times, you get tired of it. Maybe try some country western, but mostly I keep going back to public radio because there's always new stuff. I'm John Inc. from Wausau, Wisconsin, and I listen to Wisconsin Public Radio, and it is my source for a clear view of the world.
You can give at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552. Larry Mealer with Jennifer Dargan coming up to the top of the hour and asking for your support for the quality programs that you value on WPR. This is the last day of our spring drive, and your contribution, $10 a month, $100 a month, whatever amount you choose, makes a big difference.
When you first became a listener to Wisconsin Public Radio, do you remember that? You took an important step when you first tuned us in, and now we're asking you to take the next step and become a financial supporter.
It's an important step because WPR relies on listener support, and you know what? It's really easy to donate. Decide how much you'd like to give, $10 a month, $120 is a great starting point, and then go ahead and make your gift. It'll just take a couple of minutes, and, you'll be good. At WPR.org or at 888-202-2552. We're right up to the top of the hour. Thank you so much. Again, if you've already given, thank you. If you haven't, do it right now at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552.
Come see what's brewing. The Milwaukee Brewers.
The Brewers. We'll be talking about the Brewers with a couple of guys who know a whole lot about the Brewers and talk about it on their podcast quite a bit as well. And I'm looking forward to talking to Paul Noonan and Ryan Topp in just a minute. But Jennifer Dargan stepped back in because it's the last day of our spring member drive. And she wants to tell you that your contribution keeps this program and WPR strong. $10 a month, $100 a month, every gift, any amount makes a big difference because the largest share of our funding for programs comes from people just like you. You can donate now at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552. And we actually have a match coming.
We have a match right now. So if you were putting things off, put it off no longer, because we have a dollar for dollar match up to $2,000. And this generous match is from John in Marionette in memory of his wife, Mary Ellen. And it means that he'll match every dollar that you give.
His way of encouraging you to support Wisconsin Public Radio so you can double your support right now. It's a great opportunity at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552.
You might have heard that funding for public media has been in the news recently, and we want you to know that while all funding is important, voluntary listener contributions make up the largest and most reliable source of funding for WPR.
And that means your support is vital to keeping Wisconsin Public Radio on the air. And now that you know how important you are, make your gift at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552.
Yeah, you are very important to us, and I would imagine WPR is probably pretty important to you. Maybe it's a preset in your car radio, or maybe in your house too, or maybe both. You probably listen to WPR a lot, so we're asking you to step up, help pay for the station that you enjoy so much. Become a member today.
And make that switch from someone who listens to someone who listens and contributes. You can start with a gift, $10 or $20 a month at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552.
At Wisconsin Public Radio, we ask you to decide how much to give. And no matter what you choose, you get 24 hours a day of news, talk, music, and entertainment in return. That's a great deal. Where do you wish you could get that deal?
I'd love to go to the record store and name my price for a lot of the albums I see.
If I could pick and choose for shoes, that would be fantastic.
Netflix, streaming options, music, and a weekend cocktail, too.
During this pledge drive, we ask you to contribute as generously as you can. And unlike with other things, you'll always be the one to decide how much to give.
And you can give at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552. This is our Spring Member Drive. I'm Larry Mueller with Jennifer Dargan, and listener support's the biggest source of our funding. And that's why your gift, $10 a month, $100 a month, whatever amount you choose, has a big impact.
And we know you value your time, and we value your time too. So giving to Wisconsin Public Radio takes just a few minutes. You just tell us your name, your contact information, how much you'd like to give, and how you'd like to pay.
Very quick and easy to do, and your gift right now really helps. So take a couple of minutes to support the station you count on, and just go to WPR.org or phone 888-202-2552.
You might think about, what do you spend $10 on? Maybe goodies at the cafe, or maybe an app on your phone, or a book or something like that. These are all things that you spend your money on because it makes your life better. And just like Wisconsin Public Radio, with a gift of $10 a month, you can make a difference for the public service that you rely on.
And when you support WPR, you join a community, tens of thousands of people actually, who give what they can for the programs they value. Join in now, give $10 a month or whatever amount's right for you. Every gift is powerful for sure at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552.
And we have a generous dollar for dollar match available right now. Your donation of any amount will be doubled. So please give now at WPR.org or 888-202-2552. And your support of WPR is going to go twice as far.
And if you put $20 a month in, you could add that WPR T-shirt to your wardrobe. But Jennifer and I are both going to be sporting WPR T-shirts at some point as soon as they arrive. Kind of a cool-looking shirt. I'd say it's cream-colored. It's got a lavender, I called it a bullseye at first, but it's a big lavender circle, and inside it you've got the state flower, the muskie, the state fish, and a whole bunch more. Yours when you give $20 a month or more at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552.
You joke, but we used to coordinate our outfits for member drives. You remember that?
Yes, I do.
We heard from Catherine in Oshkosh who said WPR is well worth my contribution. Do you agree with her? If so, you can step up and get your contribution doubled right now.
Where do you go? You go to WPR.org or you phone 888-202-2552, and thank you very much. We're going to turn our attention to the Brewers with a couple of guys who spend a lot of time thinking about the Brewers and even more time probably talking about the Brewers. Our guest, Paul Noonan. Paul, good to see you. Oh, I'm not hearing you, but I'm seeing you.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me, Larry.
Ryan Topp, the other guy. Ryan, good to see you.
Good to see you again, Larry. Always love coming on.
Paul and Ryan are hosts of Milwaukee's Tailgate Brewers podcast. Really cool podcast. I've listened to it. And they talk about their predictions for the rest of the Brewers season, maybe. They talk about all kinds of things relating to the Brewers. They get into the Packers once in a while, too, I notice. But the Brewers are their main thing. And as I talk with them, I hope you'll join in. When did you become a Brewers fan, maybe? What do you think about the Brewers and their season so far this year? Give us a call. The number's 800-642-1234, or you could email us to talk@WPR.org. Well, here we are in, I guess you could say the first third of the season? 30-some games in now, isn't it, Paul?
About that, yeah. That's about where we're heading. A little short of that, I think. But
yeah, and it's a little different from last year.
I think that's correct. I think it is a little different from last year. I think the Brewers have benefited for the last several years from a truly weak division and by having a really deep and solid foundation across the board team-wise. And while they've been hit by the injury bug occasionally, like losing Christian Yelich and Devin Williams punching a wall and things like that, this season is different because, A, the Cubs are, I think, juggernauts for the first time in quite a while, and B, the Brewers have been hit by the injury bug very hard, especially in the pitching staff, which is compounded a little bit by having a little bit less depth than they usually do. Offensively, they have a big hole at third base. Some guys that they were counting on stepping up haven't. And pitching, they're just kind of behind the eight ball because they lost like 5 starters immediately out of the gate. So this is different. Haven't done this before.
Oh, my goodness. And Ryan, and Tobias Myers was one of those guys. He was out for the first pitcher out for the first month. He did a pretty good job last night, I think.
I was at the game last night, and he was quite good. One of his better starts that I've seen, kind of up there with his start against Detroit last year, where he went 8 shutout. And so, but that was one of his best starts, and he is really, really important for them. He is one of their best young pitchers and one of the most important guys going forward too, because he's under team control for another 4 years after this one. So they really need him, might even be 5. So they really need him to get on track. And he had a rough one last week at Chicago against that White Sox team that is one of the worst teams we've seen in a very long time. Last year, they were setting records for futility last year. They're better this year, but not great. And he was only able to get through 2 innings against them. And it raised some alarm bells also on the managerial side, because the manager reacted very strongly, which is a thing he has really been doing early this season. And we talked about that quite a bit on our last show, that it's raising some concerns for us too.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Pat Murphy's been really aggressive early on. I mean, he's holding some closed door meetings with players, Paul?
He is. He is one of our big concerns, I think, with Pat. Maybe not. I won't speak for Ryan. I'll speak for me alone. One of my big concerns with Pat Murphy is he is much more of an old-timey manager, and that can work, especially if you are a good communicator in the clubhouse and you run a tight ship, which the tight ship part I'm not worried about. But Craig Counsell was a very effective implementer of strategies from on high, from the front office, from the analytics division, getting buy-in from all the players to do things that they wouldn't necessarily always think to do or be comfortable with. I think with Murphy, you lose a little bit of that. I think he shoots from the hip a little bit more than Counsell did. He's much more into his gut than Counsell was. And as long as you have the clubhouse, that's fine. But some of his moves have been unorthodox. Some of them I'm sure have rubbed players the wrong way. And closed door meetings only go so far before they start to lose their effectiveness and have the opposite of their intended effect. He's kind of a gruff guy, like a good sense of humor. He's a good interview, but I wouldn't want to be in too many closed door meetings with Pat Murphy myself. And I do think that it's something to keep an eye on as we go forward here, because Counsell, honestly, was one of the best just win-producing managers in the game. It's why the Cubs ponied up for him. And I think Murphy is much more of a just kind of averagey by-the-numbers manager, and could go south if this act gets stale.
Yeah, and that's a big
Ryan.
question. Oh. And yeah, that's a big question as to, is the act going to get stale? Is he going to wear out his welcome on that? We haven't seen too many indications of it so far. And I think that Murphy has been careful so far. When he benched a few players for poor play in St. Louis a couple weekends ago, they were his guys. They were players that we all know he really likes and are kind of his core guys. We put Caleb Durbin and Sal Frelick on the bench. And so I think that was a recognition on his part that he needed to be careful about those sorts of things. And he is sort of known as a tough love manager, but also he does communicate very well with the players. The players seem to have his back at this point. There doesn't seem to be a rift opening up there, but you do worry about the possibility of it happening if the season goes south. I think last year, things stay pretty happy. This is in sports in general. The clubhouse tends to stay pretty harmonious when the team is winning. And so far this year, they haven't been winning as much as they did last year. They're a 500 team as we speak today. And so it's sort of a question of what it's going to look like long term if the team does go south. Will Murphy be able to make those adjustments? Can he handle sort of adjusting to a team that may not be doing that well? But we don't know what they're going to be like. So that all sort of remains to be seen.
Yeah. Talking with Paul Noonan and Ryan Topp. They are hosts of Milwaukee's Tailgate Brewers podcast. And certainly looking forward to hearing from you with your own questions or comments as we move along today. There's some questions there. And we have a couple of questions during our spring member drive as well. Jennifer Dargan joining back in. Listener support. Time to think about it right now, this last day of the drive. Listener support is the largest source of our funding. A gift right now of $10 a month, $100 a month, whatever amount you choose, makes WPR the reliable source that it is. Programs you enjoy every day. Give now at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552.
And now's a great time to donate because we have a dollar-for-dollar match in effect. This match was offered by John and Marionette in memory of his wife, Mary Ellen, and there is still room for you to get in on this match for your gift to be doubled. So step up with your support for WPR programs right now at WPR.org or 888-202-2552, and your gift's going to have an even greater impact.
You know, we do a sports program maybe once a month or so, and I always love to have Paul Noonan and Ryan Topp on when it's time to talk about the Brewers. They've got this great podcast, Milwaukee's Tailgate Brewers Podcast, and they know a lot, and they've watched the team. And we have a lot of WPR listeners who are big Brewers fans, so it's kind of fun to talk about them once in a while. And we're listener supported, and that means when you give at WPR.org or you phone 888-202-2552, you make this hour and many more hours possible. So please choose an amount that works for you. Take a couple of minutes and make your gift.
A great way to support WPR is by becoming a sustaining member. I'd say that's kind of like getting season tickets for the Brewers. As a sustainer, you'll make ongoing monthly donations right from your bank account or your credit card.
Many people give $10 or $20 a month, and you get to choose whatever amount's right for you. You can become a sustainer right now at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552.
Do you have a WPR t-shirt collection? Or do you see others wearing a WPR t-shirt and wish you had one? Either way, you'll want our 2025 t-shirt, available now. This shirt features Wisconsin's beloved symbols.
A badger.
A muskie.
A robin.
And Wisconsin Public Radio, of course. Ask for your t-shirt when you give $20 a month or more. Here's how.
Just go to WPR.org or phone 888-202-2552 to make your donation. Larry Mealer here with Jennifer Dargan. Your support during our drive makes the news. These conversations that we have on the Larry Mealer Show makes them all possible. And your gift, $10, $20 a month, whatever amount you choose is the right amount.
Our spring member drive ends at 6 o'clock, and that still leaves a little bit of time, but not much, to cast your vote in favor of Wisconsin Public Radio and the Larry Mueller Show. Takes just a couple minutes. Make your gift right now.
As a matter of fact, there's about 37 minutes or so left in this program, which is the last time you'll get a chance to contribute during our program. And, many people have already contributed, and certainly thanks for that. If you haven't given yet, take this opportunity right now at WPR.org. Just go ahead and phone 888-202-2552.
And when you do that and you make a donation, you will get twice as much bang for your buck because we have this dollar-for-dollar match going on. It's such a great time to give. WPR.org is a place to do it, or 888-202-2552.
And don't forget about the T-shirts. We had a whole series of these, and I've got, I think, everyone ever made.
The T-shirt drawer is full of WPR.
Not one drawer. We're talking 3 drawers that are nothing but WPR T-shirts, because I've often wound up with 2 or 3 of the same one. And I like that. And this one's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to getting mine. You can ask for yours when you give $20 a month or more at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552.
We heard from Sherry in Madison, who donated and said, the Larry Mueller Show is a great program for learning and enjoyment. I couldn't agree more. How about you? Make your gift right now at WPR.org or 888-202-2552.
And thank you. We are talking Brewers baseball right now. Larry Mealer here with my 2 guests, Ryan Topp and Paul Noonan. They host Milwaukee's Tailgate Brewers podcast. And if you have a thought about the Brewers or maybe a question about them or maybe about just going to the games, give a call. The number is 800-642-1234. It's 1-800-642-1234. Or send an email to talk@WPR.org. That's talk@WPR.org. at WPR.org. I've watched a lot of games, but I haven't been to a live game yet this year. And I'm really eager to kind of get over there, Ryan, and see what it looks like. You know, if you haven't been to a game in a long time, there's some big differences out there.
Yeah, this year they've done even more with adding local food options. Some smaller places, they have what are called food trucks out in left field, though it's actually they're more permanent stands. They're not actual food trucks they wheeled in, but they have some good things out there. I've enjoyed going over there before games. I've been to 8 now. I'm 5-3 in the games I've been to, so I'm doing okay so far in the games I've attended. But yeah, I usually make a trip over to that area, and there's also the other food area out in right field on the second deck that also has some local options. So it's good if you're going to the park and you don't want the standard ballpark fare. Sometimes that's fine, but I appreciate having the variety to get different things.
And Paula, the viewing, that screen is brand new, and that's what I'm really excited to see as well.
So I should disclose, I have not gotten to a game yet. I'm a little further away than Ryan, and I've been busy. I went to the NFL draft, so I've been making my ways around. But the scoreboard, the new additional scoreboard in rights is new. It was installed last year just for an additional place to put information, an additional way to generate a little extra revenue with advertisements. That's one where I'm kind of like, I'm fine with that being there, but I don't think it frankly adds that much. I know everybody wants to cram a scoreboard in every part of every stadium that they have, but it is what it is. The big front one is good enough for my tastes.
I've said I had a chance to seat several times in Bud Selig's box, and he's got, even though that's a pretty nice box, I can tell you that. But there's plenty of viewing, television viewing, even in his box. I'm losing my voice here for a second. I want to go back to pitching for just a minute, and then I want to talk about the middle of the Brewers' batting lineup. The pitching, what do we got? We got a kind of a mix of veterans and rookies. I think they've done a pretty good job, Ryan, of filling the gaps created by all the injuries.
Yeah, the starting staff has been really the strength of this team, which you would not expect based on that's where all the injuries have been. And that really is highlighted by Freddie Peralta is having so far maybe his best season to date as a major league player. And I guess we sort of overlook him a little bit, take him for granted a little bit because of their old 3 aces that they had, Corbin Burns, Brandon Woodruff, who's working his way back as we speak, and Freddie Peralta. Freddie's the only one that's currently on the team, but he has been a stalwart and has been everything you could have hoped for. And then a signing that they made late in spring training, Jose Quintana, who has tormented the Brewers for years when he was on the Chicago Cubs. He just has tormented them for years, has been a wonderful veteran addition, and he's not flashy. He doesn't strike a lot of batters out, but he generates a ton of weak contact, and the Brewers' defense, which it's been a little shaky early, but still is overall pretty good because they have a lot of guys who can move real quickly and are athletic, has done a really good job. And so those 2 veterans have allowed a bunch of younger guys, your Chad Patricks, your Quinn Priesters, even Logan Henderson, some of those guys to be able to bed in and not have to face the pressure of being the guy. And it's worked remarkably well.
Yeah, I've been amazed at how do these guys step up? I mean, guys you've never heard of suddenly are doing wondrous things out there.
Yep, the Brewers pitching lab is second to none. It is perhaps along with the Rays, the best pitching development place that you could possibly be in Major League Baseball. They are phenoms at figuring out exactly what every pitcher's best and most efficient pitch should be. They tweak things to get the most out of them. They're good at telling guys in a nice way, stop throwing that. That one's not working. You have 2 good pitches, throw 2 good pitches. You don't need to throw 4 or 5. And they are always on the hunt for reclamation projects and guys who maybe could have their career saved by a little tweak. They're also very good at that. So it is an area that the Brewers are happy to churn through and not re-sign people like Devin Williams because they're confident they can always produce the next 100-mile-an-hour guy or a guy with an amazing changeup. And they have Trevor McGill, who's been quite good. And they've had Abner Uribe waiting for quite a while now, too, who throws in the hundreds. And, as long as he can command the ball, is like the closer in waiting. So they always have that benefit. And that keeps paying dividends. It's really the bats, I think, that we need to focus on in terms of getting this team to the next level.
Yeah. I was trying to remember where I saw it. Somebody did a survey of like the general managers and asked which are the best. Ryan, are you familiar with that?
Yeah, it was The Athletic went and did a survey of all of the front offices, and they found that, so this was the opinions of people who work in the game. They had the Brewers as being the third best organization behind the Dodgers and the Tampa Bay Rays.
Right, yeah.
And what's funny about that is the Dodgers are run by the former Rays executive Andrew Friedman, and the Brewers are run by Matt Arnold, who was a former Rays executive. So the Rays basically dominate the top line there completely of having all the best. And so the Brewers did a good job of going and getting good people to run this team, and that's why they've been so successful. And we're in this run of really a decade of sort of unprecedented success for the franchise.
Just create. A lot of them said that sort of there's a culture there that just keeps, regardless. I mean, every year we lose somebody great. The Brewers do, and yet somebody comes in to fill in the hole. And it's just the culture, it seems like, that many people were commenting on.
I think the culture is one of all of the different units of the organization working seamlessly together. There are definitely a lot of teams where the front office is at odds with on-field staff. It's less common than it used to be. It used to be actually quite common. And just with ownership not necessarily knowing where to invest in other teams. I think the Brewers have done sort of an old school Moneyball type thing of identifying where they can still generate value, which is definitely in pitching, in arms, especially in the idea that even if a guy can't be a starting pitcher and they can't develop 3 pitches, they can almost always develop 2 and get relief value out of that guy. And they're so good at leveraging their relievers in effective ways more than everybody else. But everybody is on the same page, from ownership down to on-field personnel to like the hitting philosophy, the pitching philosophy of the organization. And that's hard to do. People like to have their independence and their silos in an organization, and the Brewers do not really have that. So it's hard to instill, but it is kind of the Rays way, and it does tend to work whenever a Rays guy gets to be in charge.
Well, let's take a look at some of the individual players, and of course Jackson Chourio comes to mind, and he is showing some flashes of the superstar they hope he will become. I gave him the largest contract ever for a minor leaguer, but he's not yet consistent.
Yeah, so what we've noticed with Chourio so far this year is he's incredibly aggressive and he's swinging a lot. And we saw it in spring training. He didn't hardly take any walks, but he hit about 500. And that was just because he could put everything in play. So he was happy to do that. Once he started facing the pitching in the regular season, he was making good contact and hitting the ball, but it took him almost, I think it was 3 weeks, Paul, or so to get his first walk of the season.
Yes.
And that's not ideal. That's not exactly what you want, but he is so young. And so he just turned 21 a couple months ago. And so he is so young and still developing that he's kind of learning what he needs to do. He'll learn patience. He's not walking as much as he did last year. He'll learn that as we go. But it is so exciting to watch a guy grow the way he has grown. Last year, especially, he was off to a very rough first couple months. There was talk of demotion. And then for the rest of the year, he was one of the best hitters in the National League from June onward. And it's really, really exciting to get to watch that. And it's a treat. It's a privilege. And it makes you think of somebody like Robin Yount, who he took some time too, actually way more time than what Chourio has taken to find his footing. But it's kind of a treat to have that in the organization.
Yeah, I think this year Churio's almost been a victim of his own success because he did start off the season basically hitting everything hard that he swung at, whether it was in or out of the zone. Pitchers are good at adjusting, and so they've started throwing him out of the zone pitches a little bit more, generating weak contact. And we know he can adjust back and take walks. He did that last year. I really just think it is still this. It takes a little time to realize that you've been figured out, that you need to go back to the drawing board a little bit and stop hacking at things outside the zone and wait for what you can actually drive. And he'll get there. He's shown the ability to do it before.
I was trying to remember that the first series, the opening series against the Yankees. I think he and Yount were swinging away and not hitting anything, if I'm remembering that right.
I think in game 1 of the season, Churio went 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts.
Yeah. I remember watching that. And that, of course, was the infamous the torpedo bats with the Yankees. They were just blasting it all over the place. Are there a lot of players that are using those torpedo bats? Explain what they are first, maybe.
Yeah, so what the torpedo bats are is somebody has simply taken and moved the sweet spot of the bat down a little bit from the end of the barrel to a little bit closer to where the hands are. And so the bat is a little bit of it's almost like a bowling pin shape, if you can think of it that way, that it fattens out a little bit in the middle, not nearly as pronounced as a bowling pin, but sort of that general idea. And it was to move the sweet spot of the bat where you want the batter to make contact a little bit further down so that they could drive the ball. And it was the talk of that first series. The Yankees hit 15 home runs in that series, and everybody panicked. Everybody, including we were talking about it. It was quite the story. And now torpedo bats they're all over the league. There are multiple Brewers using them. I believe Rhys Hoskins got his, and I believe Jackson Churio actually was just spotted this weekend using a torpedo bat. Mm-hmm. And so it turned out to be a bit of a tempest in a teapot, and we all sort of overreacted to it. I think Paul was better about not overreacting to it than I was. I think I fell for that one. Yeah, it was a wild story because the Yankees, just that first series, everything they touched went out of the park, and you felt shell-shocked after one weekend. You thought, wow, what is happening here? And fortunately, things have settled down a lot since then. They've had one of the best pitching staffs in baseball since that time. But that first weekend was just an eye-opener of epic proportions.
Yeah, and the bats, they probably do convey a marginal advantage over conventional bats. That sweet spot location is also customizable to a player and where he actually makes good contact and turning it into great contact. But that was definitely overblown. As it turns out, the Yankees are just an outstanding hitting team. I mean, it's just a really good lineup. We saw kind of the same thing with the Cubs. The Cubs and the Yankees have so far the two best lineups in base. That's not true. Yeah, that is right. They're both 9-WAR hitting lineups so far. And so that was also in Yankee Stadium, a teeny tiny little stadium where it's easy for anybody to hit home runs. And so we did overreact. But they are, I do think, helpful. And they will also probably help certain kinds of hitters more. And I'm anxious to see a couple of the Brewers hitters who are sort of the good contact guys who maybe are a little lacking in power. Guys like Turang and Salfrilic who have kind of turned it around a little bit this year power-wise. I think those bats can help those guys quite a bit more by turning what would be average power into good power. So something to keep an eye on with the torpedo bats.
Paul Noonan and Ryan Topp, who are the owners and hosts of Milwaukee's Tailgate Brewers podcast, our guests. Fun having them on today on the show during our Wisconsin Public Radio Spring Member Drive. And Jennifer Dargan steps back in to help me talk about your gift. Any amount, it really makes a difference.
It does. Listener support is the largest source of funding for WPR programs, and that means your support funds this program, as well as everything else on WPR that you count on and you listen to day in, day out. So we are inviting you to give now at WPR.org or 888-202-2552.
We just made that dollar for dollar match, so thanks to everybody who's contributed. John and Marinette, thank you so much for that contribution in memory of your wife, Mary Ellen. And you know what? we're not out of time, and
Let's
still
keep
need
going.
some more
Let's
money.
keep the momentum up. Thank you so much, John. We appreciate that challenge, but we're kind of on a roll here.
Yeah,
it's the last day of a drive.
It's the last day, and I hope you'll take advantage of the fact that you still have time to vote during the Larry Mueller show here for good radio programs. And how do you do it? Well, you go to WPR.org and make a contribution, or you can phone 888-202-2552.
In a single month, there are hundreds of discussions on Wisconsin public radio. And gosh, how many of those are Larry is participating in and prepping for and, sharing that knowledge with you. There is so much to learn, so many interesting people to meet, and topics to discover. And when you support WPR with a donation, you are the one who's making all of that possible. Take that simple and really powerful step right now when you give at WPR.org or 888-202-2552.
And sometimes you actually get more than you pay for. And I think WPR is one place where that's true every day. You might consider a gift of $2 a day to support the programs you love.
Yeah, you can't get much for $2, but at Wisconsin Public Radio, $2 a day will make a lot of these conversations possible. It works out to $60 a month, and you can make that gift right now at WPR.org or 888-202-2552.
I started donating quite a few years ago. I took the plunge. It was the first thing that I had ever done with the sustaining type of membership. It was painless, and so I've just continued. I trust Wisconsin Public Radio. I also trust them to use my money wisely. I'm Bea Liebel from Merrill, Wisconsin. I encourage you to join me in sustaining Wisconsin Public Radio.
Thank you, Bea. And you can do that. Do what she suggests. Go to WPR.org or phone 888-202-2552 and make your contribution during our drive.
I think it's a great business move.
And, there's always so many people
chiming in,
talk about Wisconsin Public Radio, and they can't help themselves. Jeff's got to battle them down to keep them from talking. You know what? We try to have a lot of fun on the show, along with giving you some good information. And I'm telling you right now, if you've never given to WPR.org, you ought to do it. And here's what to expect. It's a very short process. Get on the phone. Takes a couple of minutes on the phone. Takes you a minute or two if you go online to do it. You answer some basic questions, your name and address, the amount of your gift, and what you'd like to pay.
That's it. That's easy. And then you can make your first donation to WPR. And you know what? You're going to feel good about it because listener support is such a big part of what makes WPR happen. And that listener we just heard from, Larry, was talking about that she trusts WPR, and we don't take that for granted. We work really hard to make sure we can sustain that trust. So if you want to be part of this, many first-time donors give $10 a month or $120. The amount is completely up to you. You can take care of it at WPR.org or 888-202-2552.
And I'd think about that $10 or $20 a month or more if it's at all possible, because then you get the WPR T-shirt.
Yep.
To your and we've talked about it. It's kind of cream colored. It's got a big lavender circle on the front with all of the things you love about Wisconsin, the fish, the flowers, the animals. All yours for $20 a month or more at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552.
You can pop over to our website to see an image of it, and then you can make your donation while you're there.
While you're there.
And maybe become a sustaining member while you're there. It's really easy to set up convenient ongoing monthly donations from either your bank account or your credit card. You can get started at WPR.org or 888-202-2552.
Really makes a difference at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552, and thank you. Having some fun talking Brewers baseball today with Ryan Topp and Paul Noonan, the host of Milwaukee's Tailgate Brewers podcast. And you can join in with your own questions, comments, experience to share. The number's 800-642-1234, or you could send an email to talk@wpr.org. That's talk@wpr.org. Glenn emailed, are the Brewers doing anything to prevent a situation like the fan who fell at PNC Park in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, so they have done some renovations over the years. They've raised some of the railings, especially at the end of aisles. I've noticed that. My wife and I were actually talking about that just last night when we were at the game. When our friends brought up that incident in Pittsburgh, they've definitely raised some railings. And so it is higher. There are spots. I've been to many stadiums. I've been to about half of the current big league parks. And I've never felt truly uncomfortable at the Milwaukee Stadium. I've been in some where I didn't feel like the railings were high enough, and I worried about that in a way that I don't so much in Milwaukee. But yeah, it's a scary thing. Watching that happen was really frightening, and it's not the first time that it's happened. And Milwaukee has had an incident in the past with a fan falling over the right field wall. So it's something that I think everybody is concerned about.
Yeah, I can remember. The Brewers, the park itself seems fairly safe. I can remember the old Pittsburgh Park. That goes back 20 years or 25 years. That one, I wasn't crazy about that one for sure. And that person, by the way, I haven't heard anything about what happened to him in the end.
Last I heard, ICU. So it's an unfortunate situation, I think.
Oh man. Pat in Milwaukee, we'll give you a chance to join in. Hi, Pat.
Aloha, Larry and guests. Just want your guests to tell the free giveaway days that the Brewers are having, including the cribbage board day. And if you do come to Milwaukee, Larry, we'll get in touch.
Oh, Pat, cribbage board day. What day is cribbage board? You guys are giving Jeff. You're probably looking feverishly looking at Ryan. Do you know? May 17th. Oh my goodness! A Brewers cribbage board. You know, these giveaways are a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that one it's an ongoing story. There are a couple of announcers, Jeff Levering and Vinny Rotino, who do a lot of the TV broadcasts. Yes. Not all of them, but a lot of them. They have a running cribbage match on the road, and they've been playing for a couple of years now. And so they decided to do this cribbage board giveaway. My wife, we have a partial season ticket package, my wife and I do, and we made sure to get tickets for that day in our group because we wanted to make sure we got the cribbage board. We want to have that, so it looks fun. It looks like it'll be a cool thing to have. Nice souvenir.
Yeah,
I feel like go ahead.
They do so mostly it's bobbleheads, jerseys, things like that. But I feel like there's one really creative one every year, and it's definitely the cribbage board this year. Like they've had the euchre alarm clock in the past. That's my favorite one that I've ever gotten all time. And I feel like that's the one that you want to really make time to get when you are picking out your giveaway days.
Yeah, I've got the euchre one where he does the get up, get out of here, go on. I love that one. I was a funny thing. I forget what bobblehead was giving. It was the day Cubs Day, and there was I forget the Brewer bobblehead. But anyway, there were some enterprising folks who were going over to the Chicago side of the field and buying up the bobbleheads from the Cubs people who didn't really care, and for a few bucks there were a couple of guys that just had arms full of these bobbleheads. And they were planning, I'm sure, to sell them on eBay or something later on.
Sure, that's the case. I know a lot of people will just buy multiple tickets to those games, go in, get a bobblehead, go out, circle back in, and get 4 or 5 or 6 that way.
Oh, man. Just thinking about baseball in general, we got the Dodgers and the Mets. They gave out over $1 billion in contracts over the winter. And of course, they're both off to pretty good starts this season. But there's another work stoppage looming.
Yeah, unfortunately, the next CBA ends after the 2026 season, and everybody is sort of preparing for, once again, another labor stoppage. And people are talking about this one. The last one, it went into spring training, but they were able to get the season started. I think they maybe bumped it back a week or something.
Yeah.
But they were able to really avoid cutting into the season. People are not nearly so optimistic this time. The owners seem to be once again getting themselves ready to try for a salary cap. They're the only sport in North America, of the major men's North American sports, that doesn't have a salary cap of any sort. And they seem bound and determined to get it this time. And so we will see if that results, because the union has steadfastly said that they will not accept a salary cap. That has been a long-standing thing for them. So it looks like we're headed to a big labor battle once again.
Oh. Well, on that unhappy note, keep watching, and guys, I hope you come back and be with me again. I hope so.
Oh yeah, always happy to.
Okay, Ryan Topp and Paul Noonan, hosts of Milwaukee's Tailgate Brewers podcast. It's great to have them come by and talk about the Brewers, and we'll get them next time when we're not in one of our pledge drives. We're, by the way, on the last day of our pledge drive. Jennifer Dargan back with me, and listener donations, the largest source of our funding. If you've been meaning to give, this would be a good time to do it, because the drive ends at 6:00. This program ends in 5 minutes, so do it right now. Go to WPR.org or phone 888-202-2552.
No time like the present. We would really love to see your donation come through in the next 5 minutes here in support of the Larry Mueller Show. And you can do it at WPR.org or 888-202-2552.
Fun talking baseball today with Ryan and Paul, and we do sports once in a while, but we try to give you a pretty broad range of topics. We do the environment, we do the outdoors, we do a lot on health. I have many authors, about 50 a year. We'll do about 50 books a year that I'll read for the show. And we're listener supported, and that means when you give at WPR.org or phone 888-202-2552. You make this hour and many more hours possible. So choose an amount that works for you. Take a couple of minutes and make your gift.
Yep, you can pick whatever amount works for you. Maybe you want to do $15 or $20 a month, or maybe how about $50 a month for all those 50 books that Larry reads to prep for all the shows, or whatever amount is right for you. You can set that up on your credit or debit card, or better yet, right from your bank account. It's what we call a sustaining gift. It sustains us at Wisconsin Public Radio. And the beauty of it is that you don't have to remember to renew your support every year.
I kind of like that $50 idea. 50, and I read every one of those books.
I know you do. I've been on the elevator with people who said, he really read that book. Because I mean, probably all the WPR hosts do, but probably not when authors are out on tour. Probably not all the people that they're talking to have read the book. They might skim the table of contents, but...
And when you're interviewing somebody for an hour about a book they've written, you want to have read the book. You want to have read the book, or you're going to sound pretty stupid, or well, at least I would. So I have to read the whole thing. Your support. Give now at WPR.org or phone 888-202-2552. We're asking you to support the quality programs you value here on WPR with your gift right now during our drive. Really makes a difference for the entire community. We kind of live in a generous society, I think.
I think we do. I mean, our listeners prove it to us every time we have a drive, and we can continue that tradition right now. We've got 3 minutes left here of this program. If you've never given before, this is your time. Step up right now. You'll be funding the programs that you and everyone else in Wisconsin benefits from every day. maybe give $10 a month if that works for you. You can do it at WPR.org or 888-202-2552.
I'd still think of the $20 in order to get the T-shirt.
Oh, you're right. You're absolutely right. That is a great suggestion.
That is, let the world know you're a WPR fan. It's a purple and orange Wisconsin-themed design on a cream-colored shirt. So ask for yours when you give $20 a month or more at WPR.org or at 888-202-2552. We have a lot of fun on this program. We do a lot of thinking about our shows. We talk about our shows. We got like 5 people on our team, kind of, and it's all important to us. I hope it's important to you, this service. If it is, go to WPR.org right now and make a contribution, or do it by calling 888-202-2552. For Jennifer Dargan, I'm Larry Mueller, and thank you so much for listening.